Welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show, presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Just wonderful to have you along for the ride. Oh, what a weekend. Some of you know, I said it on Friday, Saturday, I wasn't going to be able to do the Phillies postcast because of my baby cousin's wedding. Oh, God. It was awesome. I've never seen a couple bring it more on their wedding day, more so than my cousin and her now husband. Shout out Nicole and Zach. They absolutely brought it. They brought the fun. The groom was doing a backflip. The bride was using a bubble gun over the dance floor. It was absolutely incredible. Great job by those guys. But as the wedding's going on, of course, I'm following the Phillies. And a little down period between the wedding ceremony and the reception, my family and I would go to a bar. We have a little light appetizers, and the Phillies came on, and they are absolutely destroying the Arizona Diamondbacks. This was the Saturday game. Nick Castellanos, Alec Bohm, Bryce Harper. Oh, my God. Are you serious with that home run? So that felt good to get that nice 12-1 victory there for the Phillies. That was pretty awesome. And then yesterday they go out, and Christopher Sanchez is on the hill, and he was dominant. It looked easy. Well, you'll hear from Rob Thompson coming up in a second after the game, talking about his lefty, other lefty starter that's been dominant. Ranger Suarez, Christopher Sanchez being some of the best lefties in baseball this year has been absolutely incredible. I thought Ranger was going to have himself a good year. I liked Christopher Sanchez, but the thing with Christopher Sanchez coming up through the ranks is, could he go more than 4 innings? Could he go more than 5 innings? Could he go more than 6 innings? He used 7 innings yesterday. With 80 pitches. I know it was I think it was 98 degrees, 97 degrees maybe by the time they pulled Christopher Sanchez out of the game. But I was a little surprised that Rob Thompson didn't just 80 pitches keep going. But he didn't. Throughout his start, he just kept the Diamondbacks off balance. He never found himself in a jam. He would give up a leadoff single. They turn a double play. It was match. The changeup was beautiful. The sinker was working for him. The slider was working for him. Everything. Just the ball on a string. The old proverbial string. The Phillies got the big hit from David Dahl in the game yesterday. They got a 2-run single. They made it a 1-run ball game to a 3-0, or excuse me, a 1-0 ball game to a 3-0 ball game at that point. It was pretty spectacular. It wasn't a lot of offense. Could have used a little more offense, but it was just enough offense, just enough support to help the Phillies get this victory. And it feels good to get back-to-back series wins. Feels like I haven't really said that for a while when it comes to the Phillies. After just keep on, they wouldn't lose series. It's just remarkable. We're talking about, let's see, the second series of the season against the Reds. They lost that, and then they didn't lose a series for about a month and a half. And then they finally put back-to-back series together for this one. You go to after the Milwaukee series, you go to London. You split that one there with the Mets. You lose 2 or 3 to the Red Sox, and then you lose 2 out of 3 to the Orioles, and then you come back home and you right the ship. So good for the Phillies on that. Now they take the act on the road and they go to Detroit for a 3-game series where some of the news over the weekend affected this. So we have Spencer Turnbull back in the rotation as of Wednesday. Now, right now, he's in the rotation, but he'll make a start against his former ball club, and the ball club that Dave Dombrowski actually, I believe, drafted him into, similar with Nick Castellanos, to the Detroit Tigers. So we will see all that go down on Wednesday. And Taijuan Walker not being in the rotation as he's been placed on the 15-day injured list. Now, look, I want to be very clear here. Nobody is celebrating injury. Nobody enjoys injury. So now that I've said that, I am really going to enjoy Spencer Turnbull being back in the rotation. Let's focus on the positive here, people. And here's the deal. If Spencer Turnbull goes back, let's say he gets 2, maybe 3, maybe 4. Let's say he gets a couple of starts here, okay? If he has a 1.67 ERA like he did in April, there is no way, no possible way. $70 million or not locked up in Taiwan Walker. There is no way you are putting a 167 starters ERA back in the bullpen twice. I still don't. I mean, look, we understand why it's happened. We know it shouldn't have happened. But when the Phillies put Spencer Turnbull in the bullpen to be, after his great start to the season, Taiwan Walker was healthy and all that, like, it didn't make sense from a baseball standpoint. It made sense from a business standpoint. There's no way, though, in either business or baseball, you could do it twice. You did it once, it didn't work. They're like, oh, we have a guy that's competing to be one of the best starters on our rotation in a rotation of great starters. Let's not have that. Let's get rid of that guy. Let's bring in this other guy. 5.60 ERA. Get him out of here. And look, he had like two decent starts, London and then Baltimore, and then just terrible again. He's got a little inflammation on his finger. Oh, really? Okay. All right. Well, my rage is inflamed when he starts. So I'm ready for him to, again, if Spencer Turnbull is getting back to, not even, look, it'd be better than a 5.60 ERA, and you could stay in the rotation. Now, 1.67 ERA, even 2.50, whatever it might be as a starter, after a couple of starts, taking over Taiwan Walker again, there's no way, absolutely no way Spencer Turnbull should be going back to that bullpen. Not a fan of him in the bullpen. Not a fan of Taiwan Walker starting games. So I'm glad we could have this conversation. I'm glad we could work this all out. Spencer Turnbull, go out there and handle your business now that you're back in the rotation. Now, as far as the Phillies starting pitcher in this series here for Game 3 yesterday against this Arizona Diamondbacks team, it was Christopher Sanchez. He was dominant. You'll hear from Rob Thompson coming up in a minute. We'll also talk a little bit about your Philadelphia Eagles. There was some news from Jeremy Fowler over the weekend about the leadership of Jalen Hurts. I am – look, the story of the offseason, other than anything tangible, like, for instance, Quaidel Mitchell being taken in the first round, 22 overall, bringing in Cooper DeJean, in the second round, all that stuff. Other than Saquon Barkley, other than that, the greatest thing that we're not going to know until we see it is Jalen Hurts in this offense. And up until we see him take that first snap of the season in Brazil, up until then, we're not going to know anything. We're only going to have the speculation, the reading into things, overanalyzing, maybe in some aspects underanalyzing. Doubt that. But there's going to be many things throughout this offseason that are going to lead us in one direction or another as to the handle Jalen Hurts has right now on this Eagles locker room. Along with that, the Kellen Moore offense and how the meshing of these different schemes, Nick Sirianni and Kellen Moore, is going. So right now, the biggest piece to come out of the offseason regarding all of that is Jalen Hurts' inability to simply say something nice about Nick Sirianni. When asked about the versatility of Nick Sirianni and what's it say for Nick Sirianni when you have these different offensive minds come in and they add their own 2 cents, 95 cents, I guess, of the dollar, according to Jalen Hurts. And he couldn't say anything nice about Nick Sirianni and his adaptability. And then finally said he's got a good message. My take on this is that Nick Sirianni there's never been an Eagles employee other than Howie Roseman who was actually put in the broom closet. There's never been an Eagles employee who has been closer to that broom closet than Nick Sirianni is right now. As you continue to distill it even further and really think about it and analyze it, you think about a loyalty, and we've talked about this briefly before, but we talked about a loyalty to Brian Johnson. Is he still pissed off that Brian Johnson was let go and Nick Sirianni is still here? In his mind, is there a world where Sirianni leaves and Brian Johnson stays? Or Sirianni was fired and Brian Johnson stays? I don't think that's a reality, especially if the apple of your eye was Kellen Moore, similar in a way that it was to the Vic Fangio being the apple of your eye when it came to this defense. What was the point of Jalen? Was it as simple as I didn't want to tell a lie? I didn't have anything nice to say about Nick Sirianni, so I figured I just wouldn't say anything and act like I either didn't understand the question or didn't want to throw Kellen Moore under the bus, making it seem like it was more beneficial to, or excuse me, more of the ideas of Nick Sirianni in this offense than it was Kellen Moore, who apparently is changing 95% of the offense. Also along the same lines of just Jalen Hurts, as we talked about yesterday with Howard Eskin's report, is it Jalen Hurts building in the excuse so that midway through the season, when the Eagles are 4-5 or whatever, he's like, well, 95% of the offense is different, so I don't know what do you want. I don't know what you want from me. 95%. We could have just had Brian Johnson here, and everything would have been the same. I'd be better at it. If they were going to give power to somebody else, is that the other aspect of it? If they were going to give power to somebody else, did he not want Kellen Moore to come in? Would he have wanted Brian Johnson just to handle game planning and calling plays? Is that what the motivation behind Jalen Hurts' words, or lack thereof? Was that the motivation behind that? So when a report comes out, and Jeremy Fowler came out with a report talking about the leadership of Jalen Hurts and also the meshing of systems and terminology and all that stuff, he had a positive report on Jalen Hurts and everything that he's doing in this offseason to make sure that this Eagles team is ready to go, and everything this Eagles team has done differently since last year. Jalen Hurts is doing the best to be, what was the word? Adaptable. Forget about his head coach being adaptable. Jalen Hurts has to be adaptable. And it sounds like from this report, again, it's positive. It sounds like Jalen Hurts is taking the bull by the horns this offseason. That answer that I previously referenced doesn't sound like it so much. This report does, and we'll get to that coming up in a minute. But first and foremost, want to get into this Phillies game yesterday, and the Phillies finally getting back on track. 7 games still above the Braves. That's great. We also have something positive to get into when it comes to your boy, Nick Castellanos. Oh, Nicky 3 buttons, baby! And how he is getting things done now in this Phillies offense. First, I do want to start with Christopher Sanchez. I want to shout out our friend over there at PHL Sports Station, Philadelphia Sports Station, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience. Destiny Lugardo, who put up this picture of Christopher Sanchez wearing the Alec Boehm "I Love This Place" shirt as he's up there with Dave Dombrowski and Sam Fold, I believe his agent as well. I thought it was fantastic as he signs his new deal. Extremely team-friendly, as one would expect. He's 27 years old. There's 2 options at the end of this extension. So what does he do to help this Phillies team after signing that nice little extension for himself and the Phils? He goes out there and he tosses 7 scoreless innings. He uses just 80 pitches. He was extremely, wildly, bananasly on point in this game yesterday. Watching him go out there, it was a steady flow throughout the game. And you guys have heard me mention it many times before when it comes to Christopher Sanchez. He can have those types of innings that all of a sudden you blink and, there's the bases loaded, there's nobody out, and you think it's going to be a blow-up inning, and he finds his way out of it, i.e. his start against the Mets. This game, there was literally no concern. That's how good he was in this start. He goes out there, first inning, gives up a single with 1 out, with 2 outs, no problem. Walker flies out to right center field on a great play by Brandon Marsh, who was in center field yesterday. That was the only eyebrow raise of the day, is when he had a runner on first base, and there's a long fly ball, deep right center field, and Brandon Marsh goes up, makes a spectacular catch against the wall, and then that just helped everything go on the right trajectory for the rest of the game. After that, Grichuk gets the single to lead off the second inning. He gets McCarthy to strike out on a changeup. Then he gets Suarez to ground into the 5-4-3 double play started by Alec Boehm there. Also in the first inning, to go back to that for a second, he gets Martell to ground out to short, strikes out Alexander on the slider, great slider, and then Gurriel comes up with the single, and then Marsh makes the play. Back to the second inning, Grichuk gets the leadoff single, gets out of that with the strikeout on the changeup and then the double play. Third inning, 1, 2, 3, including a strikeout of Herrera on a changeup. Fourth inning, leadoff single again. What does he do? He gets another double play. This one on the 6-4-3 twin killing. Then he gets Walker to ground out to third on a good pick by Alec Boehm. Fifth inning, he gets a 1-2-3 inning, strikes out Suarez again. This time looking at a changeup, handle your business. Sixth inning, 1-2-3. Seventh inning, you guessed it, 1-2. He went into the sixth inning with 69 pitches. Nice. Goes into the sixth inning, which is 69 pitches. Throws 11 pitches. He's done after 80. I again, was surprised, and I know, and this has been Rob Thompson's philosophy on the whole thing. Rob Thompson said, or has said many times, that when he takes out a guy early, and at this point they had a I guess he made the decision after the seventh inning, or excuse me, after the top of the seventh inning. Maybe he made it after Stott's RBI single in the seventh, where it was a 4-0 ball game. Maybe he's thinking at that time, I got Alvarado, I got Hoffman, I can get Sanchez out of this game, and I can rely on the bullpen and the offense to close this out, and the defense to close it out too. I got a 4-0 lead. I guess that's what he relied on, because the other part of that philosophy is also, I can get him out of this game because what I'm essentially trying to do as Rob Thompson is limit the bullets. These guys only have so many bullets. They have had the best or one of the top 3 best records in baseball for over 2 months now, or almost over 2 months. We're going to be pitching deep into the playoffs. I want to make sure if I don't have to have one of my ace pitchers out there, one of my 4 ace pitchers out there, I'm not going to have him out there. So he limits, not the damage, obviously, because there was none in this one for Sanchez, but he limits the effort. He limits the bullets. He saves the arm for the postseason. I think that was the philosophy coming out of this game for Rob Thompson with Christopher Sanchez. But all in all, he was great. We'll get to some other guys, but here is Rob Thompson talking about Christopher Sanchez and what he's been able to bring to the table for the Phillies, including just being on point. This is courtesy of Phillies.com.
He was brilliant today. He really was. I mean, all his pitches were working. He was throwing strikes, keeping people off balance. That's a good offensive club over there, and predominantly right-handed. He just did a masterful job. I thought Stubby did a great job with him. He keeps the ball down. He's got good sink. He keeps him off balance with the changeup, and everything's down, down, down. He puts the ball on the ground for the most part. He's grown up, man. I mean, since the first day I saw him, he's really grown up. He really has. Our clubhouse makes newcomers feel comfortable and make them feel like they're part of the team, and it's a great atmosphere, and whether we do it by trade or by call-up or whatever, it just seems like everybody just comes in and they're themselves and they're comfortable and they perform. It's amazing.
That second part there was about making this team better. Making this team. What are they going to do to make this team better? And we talked about adding pieces to this. He's like, hey, we got a cool clubhouse, man. Everyone's welcome. Everyone's welcome at the Phillies table. Let's party. Come on now. That makes you feel good, especially when I am certainly one to be a vibes guy. I know that's become a huge thing now. Vibes guy with Garrett Stubbs, right? You a vibes guy? Yeah, I'm a vibe. I love vibes. Vibes are great. But the first part of that I want to concentrate on, that's Christopher Sanchez. He's really grown up. And he has. I was looking back at it after I heard that from Rob Thompson yesterday after the game. I was looking back on it with Christopher Sanchez, looking back at how his career really started, and I referenced it at the top of the show. But Christopher Sanchez, if you look at his first couple of starts, or really first year in the majors, it was always a concern as to whether or not he could even give you 5 innings. It was a concern as to whether or not he can even last more than 5 innings. And it wasn't even like his pitch counts were, he's at 100 pitches and with 2 outs in the 4th. No, it wasn't like that. It was just the stamina wasn't there. And now that has gone by the wayside for him. Consistently 6 innings, 7 innings every once in a while, 6 innings, 6 innings, 6 innings. And you're constantly seeing those types of quality starts from Christopher Sanchez where you could get that kind of performance from him. That was not the thing. So I think when Rob Thompson is talking about a guy that came out and was in need of growing up a little bit, I don't think he means in terms of maturity mentally. I mean physically. I think he needed to grow into essentially a big league body. And that's what we've seen from Christopher Sanchez. And the pitches, like control thing has never been an issue for Christopher Sanchez. The velocity, he has upped his velocity in the last couple of years as well. But when it comes to just giving you more of the good innings, he has done a hell of a lot more than that. He hasn't had that blow-up inning, and if he has, he finds a way to limit the damage. So that, for me, for Christopher Sanchez and Rob Thompson, when he says he's really grown up, that's what I believe he's getting into. And the Phillies rewarded him for the great production he has had. He should be a starter, or should be an all-star starter this year. I don't think he gets the all-star nod. I think when it comes to Zach Wheeler, and I think it comes to Ranger Suarez, I do think the National League is going to be like, I think we're good on Phillies starting pitchers. After that, if you're asking me if I want Nola in over Matt Strahm, no way. If you're asking me if I want Christopher Sanchez in over Matt Strahm, no. Matt Strahm has had one of the best years of anybody on this Phillies team. I do think Christopher Sanchez deserves it, but when you're talking about some other guys on this roster, I think Christopher Sanchez is going to have another opportunity to get into that all-star game. I don't think it's going to be this year. Is he well worthy of it? Absolutely. Would it be a snub? Certainly. But in terms of predicting, I don't think he's going to make the all-star game, unfortunately. Then you're going to have Bohm and you're going to have Harper, obviously, make the squad as well. Speaking of guys that aren't pitchers for this ball club, do you guys remember this? Remember this little adorable thing we did last week? Remember this? This is Nick Castellanos. I think we did this on Monday, as a matter of fact. I think this is 1 week ago. Nick Castellanos numbers 1 week ago. Now, okay. His March batting average isn't going to change. His April, his May isn't going to change. The June is going to change. But that's not what I'm going to focus on here. I'm going to focus on last 7 days. And I'm not going to bother putting it up for you because it's just one stat. But I want you to reference that. Okay, ready? Well, here it is one more time. Last week, going into a week ago Monday, Nick Castellanos was hitting 111 with a 143 on base percentage. 111. That's what he hit the week going into it, okay? 111! Now I'll just tell you. That was a week ago. What a difference a week makes for Nick Castellanos. Nick Castellanos from 111 last week to 478 this week. Enjoying a nice little 6-game hitting streak for Nick Castellanos. That is enjoyable. He's had 2 home runs. He's driven in 8 runs in the last week. My point throughout this entire thing, and look, the home runs and like the production that he's had, let's say yesterday he had the RBI single off the first pitch of that at bat. So he still jumps on the first pitch. That's what he does. But in his huge game, 5 RBI game on Saturday, he was actually, by Nick Castellanos standards, getting into counts a little bit. He was hitting the 4th pitch of the at-bat. His home run, I believe, was on the 5th pitch of the at-bat that he put into the upper deck in left field. That's pretty damn good. A little bit of patience goes a long way for Nick Castellanos. Hey, every once in a while, you're going to guess right, and you're going to jump on a fastball. All right, you're going to say, oh, this guy's going to give me a first pitch hanger. He's going to hang a curveball, and I'm going to jump on it. Okay, good. Or you could be a little bit patient, and you could see him. Oh, wow, that's a meatball coming down the plate for me right there. And then you can jump on that and you can smack that out of the park. You can slap that into the gap. Okay. A little patience goes a long way. I haven't noticed a huge change in patience for Nick Castellanos, but I have noticed the huge change in production. I don't know if he's watching more film. I don't know if he's studying what he could be getting on that first pitch a little bit more. I know he puts in the physical work and the batting practice and early batting practice, all that. I give him all the credit in the world for that. I always acknowledge it. But when that doesn't work, it's going to lead to a lot of inconsistencies, mostly the negative consistency. But when you actually do have a better approach to the plate, you're going to start breeding better numbers. And you're looking at the 478 batting average and the 2 home runs, the moonshot of a home run on Saturday, and the RBI single yesterday. You're going to give this team a much better chance to win. Now, I hope this is the turn. I hope, and we've said it in the beginning of May, the end of the beginning of June, the end of May, we saw a little bit of a turn out there in San Francisco. You want to continue to see that for Nick Castellanos. We haven't seen it for anything more than actually 8 days. So today would be a huge milestone for Nick Castellanos if he goes out there and he gets to another 7 or 8 game hitting streak. He puts it together and he goes out there and gets you some more RBIs, and he shows you that over the course of more than a week, Can I get 2 weeks of the all-star player we saw in the beginning of last year? Can we get that? I'd love to see that. Now would be a good time for it, especially as JT Realmuto, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, is coming off the IL and he's back in the lineup. Phillies want to give him an opportunity to be a DH. And as he finds his swing, Nick Castellanos being on fire would be fantastic in all of it. So seeing the production over the last week has been enjoyable. Will it be season changing? I hope so. That'd be nice. Will it be? Well, that's up to Nick Castellanos. I'm gonna look. I've been very. I think we all have been with Nick Castellanos. We've been patient and all that. When clubs talk about, when this club talks about possibly adding, they're talking about a left field bat with pop. I still don't think they have any desire to move on from Nick Castellanos. So I don't think that's going to be a change at the deadline. I think what they're going to be looking for is that corner outfielder, specifically for left field, and they're going to be looking for a bullpen arm. That's the direction they're still going to be going at the trade deadline. Nothing that has happened recently has changed their mind on that. Nothing has changed my mind on it. That's still what they're going to be looking for. One thing that has been really good, and I know it was off a position player, but David Dahl hit another home run. It was a second home run. Excuse me, it was a 2-run home run on Saturday. I really do like David Dahl, though. And yesterday, more so than the home run he hit off position player, catcher, on Saturday. Yesterday, the Phillies needed a big hit. I would have loved for the Phillies to come out swinging a little bit more than they did. They did not have a great offensive game. Bohm got the leadoff double in the second inning. Castellanos brought him in with the single. Then they couldn't get anything going after that. Dahl got a 2-out single. Stubbs grounded out to first after that. 1-0 ball game after the second inning. Not many more opportunities to really do damage. Third inning, you got a 1-out single with Trey Turner. Bohm comes up. He gets a 2-out single. You got runners on first and second with 2 outs. Castellanos grounded out on the comebacker to the pitcher. Fourth inning, Marsh got the 1-out single. Dahl comes up to the plate. Marsh goes to second on a wild pitch. So you have a runner in scoring position with 1 out. Dahl ends up striking out. Stubbs ends up flying out to right field. Fifth inning, Schwarber goes up there. He strikes out looking at a fastball away. They bring in Martinez. Turner reaches on the error by Alexander. Harper gets a single. You got first and second with 1 out. Bohm grounds into the double play there to end the inning in the fifth. Then in the sixth inning, the Phillies finally have another opportunity here, and they're going to cash in on this opportunity. Castellanos starts it off, actually, with grinding out to second base. Stott works a walk. Marsh works a walk. David Dahl comes up after Martinez balks in the inning to advance the runners to second and third with 1 out. David Dahl delivers. He comes up with a 2-run single. Phillies take the 3-0 lead. Martinez goes out. Manaply comes in, and that was that for that inning. But the Phillies got that extra 2 runs, and then Stott delivered after a Bryce Harper leadoff double in the 7th inning. Bohm got hit by a pitch. Castellanos popped out to second, and then Stott went up there and got the RBI single. Love to see it. And that made it a 4-0 ball game in favor of the Phils. A little more offense would have been nice. But when the Phillies needed that big hit by David Dahl in the 6th to finally get a crooked number on the board, they got the crooked number on the board. So that was good. I'm liking what I'm seeing from David Dahl. I definitely like him coming off the bench to help this Phillies team down the stretch. Jeff Hoffman in the 9th inning, little shaky. Allowed the only run of the ball game. That made it a 4-1 game. Brandon Marsh didn't do him any favors. I don't know what Brandon Marsh was doing. He was over in left field at this point. Christian Pache was moved to center field. Brandon Marsh made the play tried to make a play against the wall. I don't know if he lost it in the sun. I don't know what happened, but you very rarely see Brandon Marsh make that egregious of a misplay anywhere in the outfield. And it was that egregious. I even said yesterday or last week, his sliding attempt that allowed 2 runs to score, or excuse me, the bases clearing triple there last week. That's a rare occurrence. If you're going to slide, you got to catch that. The play in left field yesterday just looked like he lost it completely, because you don't see him overrun something like that, especially when he makes the play that I referenced earlier in the first inning of this game where he slams into the wall in left field, makes that great jumping, right center field to make that leaping grab. So Phillies will now head to Detroit to take on the Tigers for a 3-game series. Spencer Turnbull will get the start on Wednesday. As for today with the Phillies, 6:40 start time for your 51 and 26 Philadelphia Phillies. They go up against the Detroit Tigers, 36 and 41, 6:40 start time. Aaron Nola gets the start against Casey Mize tonight in Detroit. The Phillies, like I said earlier, are 7 games up on the Braves still. That's where they're at right now. The Braves are one of the hottest teams in baseball. To break this down, so the Phillies have gone through their own little spurt here. They're 5-5 in their last 10. The Yankees are 3-7 in their last 10 games. The Baltimore Orioles are 4-6 in their last 10. The Atlanta Braves are 8-2 in their last 10. The New York Metropolitans, Edwin Diaz. Don't think I missed that story. Edwin Diaz and those New York Metropolitans are 8-2 in their last 10 as well. So the Phillies hit a little bit of a bumpy road. At the same time, the Yankees hit a bit of a bumpy road there, and they just finished a 3-game series with the Braves, and the Braves took 2 of 3 from the Yankees. So for the Phillies haven't beaten anybody crowd, that was certainly an eyebrow raiser of a series for you. Edwin Diaz. Let me just get into this before we get into Jalen Hurts' comments, okay? Or to the comments on Jalen Hurts. Edwin Diaz yesterday. He comes into the Cubs Braves game. They're wrapping up that series at Wrigley Field. The Mets, excuse me. The Mets and Cubs. The Mets put a hurting on Imanaga earlier in the series. They just blasted him, right? So yesterday, Edwin Diaz comes into to the game. I think it was Vic Carapazza behind the plate. He goes up to Edwin Diaz, and he's like, let me see your hand. Edwin Diaz is like, oh, puts his hand out there. You're gone. There was like white flaky stuff on his hand. There was some dark stuff on his hand. And they're feeling his hand. They're rubbing his hand. And they're like, yeah, no. Whatever this is, no. You're not pitching with this. See ya. And they throw him out of the game. Edwin Diaz is like, can I at least get my mitt back? And they give him his mitt back. And he walks off the field. Yeah. And after the game, Edwin Diaz said it was rosin, sweat, and a little bit of dirt. There was no illegal substance, right? No foreign substance on his hand. That's what Edwin Diaz told the media after the game. Rosin, sweat, and dirt. I know it's not always the popular opinion to go with an umpire, but I kind of really understand and like what Vic Carapazza had to say after the game. He said after the game, yeah, we've done thousands of these. That wasn't just those 3 things. Like, we've done, like, this isn't our first rodeo, in other words. And I'm like, I don't like saying this sentence, but the umpire's got a point. We do thousands of these. When I feel something that's like, no. And I don't think any umpire wants to go out there and be like, you got to get out of this game, because they're really putting their reputation, unless it's totally obvious, they're putting their reputation on line. To throw a guy out for what you just might think is a banned substance, that's pretty bad. Because what's to stop an umpire at any point from just going, I thought what he had, it could be totally legal, but I thought what he had was a banned substance. Sorry about that. My bad. No, you better be right about this. And, I don't think they were wrong about this. I'm going to take the umpire side on this. Also, if I'm choosing between the Mets and an umpire, I am going to choose the umpire, generally speaking. But for all of baseball, I think Vince Carapazza had that. I think he had that one right. So, suspension in order for the New York Mets closer. And after just coming back from the IL, that's a shame. Ejected for having a foreign substance, could face up to a 10-game ban. Vic Carapazza. Yeah. Okay. There you go. So anyway, I'm going to side with him. Hey, quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts. I really need as much cause for optimism before the season starts. I need as much cause for optimism even before training camp starts. The Jalen Hurts answer of Nick Sirianni did not help the optimism. It only fueled the idea that there's some contention between the head coach, whatever he does, and your quarterback, who is the quarterback. He plays quarterback. Seems like there's a little bit of contention. So I need good vibes. I really do. I love good vibes, man. And this story from Jeremy Fowler that came out on ESPN over the weekend certainly gave me some good vibes. This is courtesy of Bleacher Report. Put this together. This is Jeremy Fowler of ESPN on Jalen Hurts, Nick Sirianni, Kellen Moore. Here you go. According to Fowler, I'm told the Eagles have spent a lot of time this offseason taking the old offense, Nick Sirianni's system last year, that Jalen Hurts is used to, mixing it with Kellen Moore's principles, put all of it in a pot with some gumbo, love the reference, and seeing what works and what Jalen Hurts is comfortable with. That's what he said on SportsCenter yesterday. I'm told Hurts has done a good job this offseason of being vocal and taking ownership of the plays he likes and the plays he doesn't. So let's get into this. Mixing with Kellen Moore's principles and Nick Sirianni's system. I still don't know what Nick Sirianni's system is after all this time. I don't know really what is Nick Sirianni's. I don't know what part of it was Shane Steichen's. I don't know what part of it was Brian Johnson's. I don't know what part of it was Jalen Hurts's, because, again, Jalen Hurts has a lot of authority there at the line of scrimmage to change the play. Now, the play is still going to be within the system and within the scheme. So, overall, yes, that is Nick Sirianni. But now, Kellen Moore, is he basically trying to find a Rosetta Stone so we could translate things for Jalen Hurts to be like, this is now that, that's now this? Is he looking for common links between the two, all to help Jalen Hurts understand what it is that Kellen Moore wants to do in his scheme, as it's been acknowledged by Nick Sirianni time and time again? That's the first thing that jumps out to me. The second thing, and what Jalen Hurts is comfortable with, good. The other thing here, and I don't know if this is what jumps out to you, the two things here, vocal and ownership. Jalen Hurts has been known for not being vocal, deferring to other teammates like A.J. Brown to be the guy that speaks to the locker room. Maybe even deferring to Jason Kelce last year, the year before that, to be a vocal leader in the locker room. Maybe Fletcher Cox to be a vocal leader in the locker room. Jalen Hurts being vocal about anything, whether it's leadership or it's vocal about plays, in this case he likes or doesn't like, I need him to be vocal. A very dangerous, it's a common phrase. The person to be afraid of is never the loudest guy in the room or person in the room. The thing is, you have to be aware of the quietest person in the room because they got thoughts. And the loudest person in the room, you have the advantage because you know their thoughts because they just voiced them. The person that's just sitting there not saying anything, that person, in this case, Jalen Hurts, could be the person that's just stewing over all of this. Be like, what is this? What is this crap? But you don't want to say anything because you want to be a good leader. You don't want to add to the negativity. You might say it to a friend or two behind the scenes, but you're not going to do that in front of everyone. Make it seem like you're a malcontent. So that's why the answer, quote unquote, from Jalen Hurts last week or 3 weeks ago now on Nick Sirianni, that's why it was troublesome. Is it breeding contempt or contempt? Is that what it is? Is that what you're doing? So seeing this report of a positive nature from Jalen Hurts is a good thing. The fact that he's taking ownership of the plays that he likes and the plays that he doesn't, great. So my thing is with that, well, what about the plays that he doesn't like that still might be good plays? Even if he doesn't like them, can he still run them? I'm sure not every quarterback likes every play in the book, but sometimes that play number 99 out of 100, whatever, might be the play you need. So when you come across a play that Jalen Hurts is like, yeah, I don't like that one. I like that one. I don't like that one. When you get to the play that he doesn't like, is it coachable? Is he able to be, okay, yeah, I don't like this, but, oh, I see how this could benefit us. I want to know how that's going down. And I don't think that's something we'll even get a taste of until training camp starts. And then again, when they take that first snap in Brazil to kick off the season, that's when we'll get That's when we'll get the real deal. And that's what I look forward to. But that was a nice little nugget, I thought, from Jeremy Fowler on Jalen Hurts and so far this offseason, what's going on there. Anything with Jalen Hurts being more vocal, I'm 1,000% for. Less Nick Sirianni, more Kellen Moore, fine. All right, that's great. Go ahead and mesh the schemes and the systems, whatever the case might be. That's how we'll look at it. Hey, let me tell you about the amazing people at MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Take advantage of all they have to offer at MyBookie, mybookie.ag. You like MyBookie? You like making money? MyBookie is the way to be with MyBookie at mybookie.ag. Download the app, create an account, use promo code FARS to get up to $1,000 redeemable cash bonus at MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Hey, how about the Game Time app? Want to go to the game? Want to go to the concert? Want to go to the comedy show? Whatever the case might be, Game Time app is where it's at. Download the Game Time app to your phone, create an account, use promo code FARSY, get $20 off your first purchase. They have flash ticket deals, last-minute ticket deals, even ticket deals for an hour after the event starts for mega huge savings at MyBookie. At Game Time app. Download the Game Time app to your phone, create an account, use promo code FARSY, get $20 off your first purchase. Here's how it's going down with your Philadelphia Phillies. They got this 3-game series with the Detroit Tigers here that wraps up on Wednesday. And then how about this? They get right back in action in South Philly for a 4-game series with the Miami Marlins starting Thursday night, 6:20, Friday night, 6:20. I believe that might be fireworks night. And then 4:05 on Saturday and 1:35 on Sunday. And then you guys can enjoy all the festivities right there. Courtesy of the Game Time app that will save you $20 off your first purchase when you use promo code FARSY. So download the Game Time app to your phone, use promo code FARSY, get $20 off your first purchase. How about PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs? That's phlsportsnation.com. Let's get into the chat check and see how you guys are doing on this fine Monday morning. Maybe some T-storms today. Maybe a thunderstorm today. Maybe Thursday, some rain. Other than that, pretty beautiful week. Twins, what's going on? Daz, good morning. IBH, what's popping? Kevin, what's going on? Good morning, Farzy Show, and everyone on YouTube. Everyone on YouTube. That's nice. Sean Gillespie, what's going on? IBH, Sanchez has apparently arrived. If he does full-time, that new contract will be grand. Oh, full-time will be grand theft. Pretty much. Sean Kilrain, good morning. Fuji, good morning. Happy Monday. Ooh, trade. All right, what do you got, Sean? Do this trade, Farzy. Phillies receive Kyle Tucker. Astros receive Aiden Miller. Outfielder Gabriel Racones. And then starting pitcher Alex McFarland. Outfielder Carlos De La Cruz. So here's my deal with the prospects, and Aiden Miller certainly is on this list. I'm going to look into Kyle Tucker a little bit more, age-wise. Gabriel Racones. Farland. Carlos. I like trade proposals. I don't like just blurting out yes or no on them yet. So here's my overall philosophy, because I've seen Aiden Miller, people throwing that name out there. Thank you, Sean. So here's the thing. Phillies have a lot of money tied up right now in Trey Turner and obviously Bryce Harper. They have a lot of money tied up right now with Aaron Nola and Zach Wheeler. The benefit of the deals that have been signed is that Trey Turner in a couple years, $27.5 million, $22 million with Bryce Harper. That's not going to seem like a lot of money. By the time those years are really coming up where their skills are starting to wane, like basically Nick Castellanos right now is making $20 million. So down the line, Harper and Turner are going to seem like bargains, but still right now a lot of money tied up. Guys that are prospects right now that can kind of help bridge the gap, and then you're going to end up owing Alec Boehm a lot of money. Bryson Stott starts hitting again. You're going to owe him a lot more money. These are all things that the Phillies have to keep in consideration. So having control of talented young prospects right now is very appealing to me. And the other thing that I'm trying to keep in mind is if you're really trying to, if you got to part with Aiden Miller, then that means you're bringing in a big acquisition. I don't know how big an acquisition this Phillies team needs. I need guys that I know are going to come in, they're going to hit with some pop, and they're going to be able to play in the outfield. That, to me, doesn't mean you need an all-star player at that position. You need an upgrade, but it doesn't necessarily mean you got to bring in an all-star caliber player. If you're trading Aiden Miller, chances are you're bringing in an all-star caliber player. In the bullpen, same type of thing. I don't want to part with some of the top prospects that you have to bring in all-star caliber players. I need good players on this team that already has great players. That's the interesting thing about this team. Usually we're talking about teams to get this team, make sure they can get into September and win, and get them over the hump to be able to get into the playoffs, lock up a playoff spot, and then make it to the World Series. Phillies last year should have been in the World Series. I believe, yes, obviously Craig Kimbrell cost them that appearance, but the Phillies bats also came up ice cold. Was one of the things I've enjoyed about this season so much. It seems like when one guy gets cold, another guy gets hot. The same thing, vice versa. One guy goes on the IL, and Edmundo Sosa comes up and starts hitting like an all-star. Beyond Craig Kimbrell, Rob Thompson had a big piece of that. So, yeah, you hope the guys that he's going to in the bullpen are better and they do their job. But also, if you know they're not doing their job real well, don't continue to trust them. I know that gives you a lot of brownie points and street cred, clubhouse cred during the regular season. But in the playoffs, it's not for niceties. So I'll look a little bit closer at that trade, Sean. Thank you. But Aiden Miller is definitely one that I would not want to part with, obviously. Yay for the blisters, says Joe. What's up, Joe? How you doing, buddy? I'm not cheering for injuries. I'm just cheering for the blister itself. Like all blisters. Anyone's got a blister. Yay. I Sanchez, what's going on? I want to buy a Christopher Sanchez. Oh, you want to buy Christopher Sanchez shirt? Stud with the best name on the team. Very nice, Sanchez, your cousin. Hope to meet the D-backs in the playoffs, though. I would, too, because I think they're better. As much as the road has seemed a little rocky lately, Phillies are, again, best record in Major League Baseball and run differential. I don't think they're the best in run differential. I think they've dropped. What are you saying? Among, not again. Wait, are you saying among or again? Because I don't think. I mean, they are among. But best record in baseball. Yankees have 52 wins. Phillies have 51. Phillies have the 662 win percentage. So, yeah, win percentage best. Run differential plus 14. Wait, really? They jumped that high? Well, I guess the 12-1 win kind of helped that. So, yeah, now the Yankees have 109. Orioles are 111. Guardians 104. My in-laws are staying with me, the Cleveland fans. I've heard a lot about the Guardians the last couple days. Yeah, they are. Well, how about that? Good hustle, IBH. I didn't realize they jumped back up there in win percentage. Or win percentage. Run differential. Yeah, they're 3 runs better than the Orioles. The Orioles off today? No, Orioles and Guardians. Oh, baby. That'll be a banger of the American League. All right, anyway. Good hustle, IBH. I didn't realize that. Mechkov coming over, yeah. Twiz, I'm excited. Joe Whip, good thing it was a 4-run lead in the 9th. They need a real closer. Hoffman, not a closer. I still like Alvarado in closing situations more than Hoffman. Tell you that much, hon. Sean Kilrain, Turnbull ERA as a starter, much better than a reliever. They were saying on Friday night. By the way, Kruk looked mid. Dude. Oh, Sean, thank you. 2 years. 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 I know a lot of people, Sean, a lot of people are looking at what you're looking at, and I agree. I saw the same thing, thought it was terrible. They got him in that whatever golf shirt, and they didn't have him wear his ball cap, The Roku broadcast. Now, T-Mac was great. T-Mac's great. The Roku broadcast yesterday, Castellanos, who the hell was in there? He was terrible. Good God, was he terrible? Is he the everyday Diamondbacks guy? And then the Apple TV. I actually like the presentation Apple TV does. I think they do a great job with the presentation. The other thing, though, whoever the hell the other color analyst was, not Kruk. You guys know I've said this a million times. I shouldn't say never. I rarely ever hear I'll hear Kruk, obviously, because that's the home broadcast, But if it's a national broadcast, chances are I'm tuning you out. I'm not even listening. I'm concentrating on my own thoughts and taking my own notes and all that stuff. But I had to look up on the TV a couple of times and be like, is this guy still talking? And I understand it's a slippery slope, and it's so easy to argue, oh, that guy talks too much when he's being paid to talk. Yes, you have to let the game breathe a little bit, But I just noticed, I was like, dude, shut up. I felt like saying, shut up. It's just, what do you even say? John, let Crucker talk, man. That was my feeling about the Apple TV broadcast. Yesterday's broadcast, I heard the point being made as if it was authoritative. I heard the point being made. It's a great thing to get that first batter, first out. I'm sorry, what? So hold on a second. You mean to tell me that you face one batter and you get one out? That's a good thing. Thank you. Thank you for mansplaining that to me. I appreciate you. Thank you, former ball player. I last played organized baseball in 8th grade. Thank you for making that point to me. That's my Brian Regan impression. Anyway, I thought it was terrible. I thought some of the look, you could easily argue that I'm a Philly guy, so it's like any color analyst breaking down my team I'm not going to like. No, I just didn't like them. I generally don't listen to national broadcasters anyway, or non-Philly broadcasters, I should say, in this instance. But this was a case of this is gross. But yeah, John Kruk in that golf shirt and the no hat. Yeah, that was weird. I agree. Also, on that note, I didn't even mention it. The Cole Hamels ceremony. I love Cole Hamels. I love everything they gave Cole Hamels. I love what Cole Hamels gave the city of Philadelphia. I love what Cole Hamels gave the Philadelphia Phillies fan base. I love all of that. What the hell did they do with that ceremony? Did they not plan anything? They were leaving my man Dan Baker out to dry. Did you have a rehearsal? Did you have a memo go around at least with a run of show? Dan Baker had to tell Cole Hamels to sit down. What? You sit over there. You sit over there. These changes for the rundown. You sit over there, Cole. I was not a fan of the ceremony. I liked that it happened. I thought they could have done a better job of honoring Cole Hamels. NJ Fishing. What's going on? Sean Kilrain. Nikki 3 Buttons. Here's me talking that ish. Ooh, April. Yeah, Dak in the Yankees jersey. Maybe that's what we needed. WC, Eskin is and always has been an agent of chaos. That's hilarious. Sean Gillespie, Edwin Diaz just had dandruff. That'd be funny. It's not 100-mile-per-hour fastball missed call. It's checking a guy's hand. Umps are going to miss calls, but bro, if you got junk on your hand, the ump will catch you. Couldn't agree more. April's going to the game Saturday. There you go, April. Charles said, happy main thing Monday. Clubhouse clout. There you go. Spielborg, thank you. Thank you, Sean. It was terrible. It was terrible. It reminded me of the Frank Caliendo line when he does John Madden, and he uses this line every time. When Frank Caliendo was just breaking on the scene, he had this line for John Madden. And he goes, I think he sets it up with, this is an actual line from John Madden about Troy Aikman. And now here's a guy that when he had his contacts in, he could see better. Actual line. That is not a good John Madden. I was not trying to show off because that's a terrible John Madden. That's a terrible Frank Caliendo doing John Madden, but Frank Caliendo can actually do John Madden. I cannot. Well, I do have one John Madden impression, and it's I'm honored to say it's one of Ray Dinger's favorite impressions. And that's when John Madden grunted at me when I met him during his last game, the 09 Super Bowl, when Santonio Holmes cornered the end zone against the Cardinals. Joe Whip, video quality of on Apple TV is the best. It is the best. I love it. And I love the graphics, too. I think their graphic department does a great job as well. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are wonderful, as per usual. Let's get to the morning rush brought to you by Sky Motorcars, SkyMotorcars.com. WNBA, $300 tickets for Angel Reese versus Caitlin Clark yesterday. Angel Reese won. That's what you need to know. But, yeah, $300 tickets. WNBA, man. So that happened. Phillies are back at it this evening. 6:40 start time in Detroit. Phillies will look to start off another series, win another series, their third straight series against a Detroit Tigers team. It's happened some struggles. Phillies coming to this game, splitting their last 10 games, 5-5 in that span. The Detroit Tigers enter this game in fourth place in the MLB's AL Central Division. They are 4-6 in their last 10. That's what they're coming off of coming into this game. They also just took 2 of 3 from the Chicago White Sox after getting swept by the Braves and losing 2 of 3 to the Astros before losing 2 of 3, or after losing 2 of 3 to the Nationals, after losing 2 of 3 to the Brewers. So they're not a good baseball team is what I'm telling you. So hopefully the Phillies get this thing started off, and Aaron Nola starts it off well for the Phils as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show, presented by MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Hey, don't forget, like and subscribe to the Farzy Show YouTube channel. Like and subscribe to the Jacob Media YouTube channel. And like and subscribe to the all-new Locked On Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. You can catch yours truly, bringing you all the action after the Phillies games on your Locked On Phillies postcast. So make sure you guys like and subscribe to the Locked On Sports Philadelphia as well. And I know a lot of you have made that sub already, so I appreciate that. And I'll see you guys tonight after the Phillies game on Locked On Sports Philadelphia. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you guys tonight. Bye.